Games for Linfield this season. I won't be too happy with making a mistake like that. John O'Connor seems to be in a bit of trouble there, but can't be too unhappy because it gave Portadown the chance to take an early lead. And the man stepping up to take that penalty kick, Billy Payton, the Scotsman, 25 goals last season, a chance to make it 6 this. The second goal came from a Payton through ball in 14 minutes. It's Gary McCulloch, passed on lob. Well, Linfield did have their chances in the first half. Here it's David Jeffrey getting the back header, and Trevor Anderson forcing a great save from Mickey Keenan. Portadown, though, they were very much the side on top. This time it's John McKee crossing for John O'Connor and saved on the line. Right, now just sit back and watch this for a run by John McKee. The man in the middle is Gary McCulloch. Portadown went 3-0 up after 78 minutes. Gary McCulloch controlling the ball well on the far side of the box. And John McKee is the man in the middle. Linfield did score a consolation goal 7 minutes from the end. Trevor Anderson getting the header, but it was Portadown's night. So Portadown winning by 3 goals to 1, and they go through to play Coleraine in the final of the Ulster Cup later this month. Play the holders Linfield, who won this trophy a year ago with a goal by Martin McGackie against Glentoran. Of course, this time there's no McGackie. The Linfield manager Roy Coyle made a shrewd acquisition before the start of the current season when he signed a raw striker from the B division to help compensate for the bitter loss of Martin McGackie. The signing was Mark Kaki of the RUC, who's fast becoming one of the most exciting strikers in local soccer. So the November Player of the Month, now with 11 goals, has adapted well to the Irish League. So what's the difference between this and the B division?
Probably pace. I think the B division, there are a lot of skillful players. The matches are a lot more physical, I think. Skill-wise, I think they're not too far behind, to be honest. It's just pace. I'd say pace is the mental agility would be the difference, I would say.
That goal was well appreciated by Martin McGackie.
It's unbelievable. Over the last 6 weeks he scored 4 great goals. That one tonight was unbelievable. His pace played on the space on his first time shot.
I've heard it quoted that Roy Coyle is saying that at the start you were playing for 10 minutes, then it was up to 45, now it's almost 90. What does he mean by that?
Well, as he said in the papers, I did tend to go walkies. My mind wasn't on the game for 90 minutes. Possibly fitness as well. Although I felt fit enough to last the 90 minutes. Possibly wasn't getting used enough to be involved in the game for 90 minutes, but it's getting there anyway. You know, I would say now, personally, I think I'm last about 80 minutes, 85 minutes.
It's 5 years since this last happened, with Crusaders upsetting the odds by beating Linfield in that Gold Cup final last night.
You wouldn't have thought Crusaders were 9-2 outsiders the way they started. Gary Hillis headed them into the lead after just 6 minutes, and it was his second chance of the evening. Crusaders held that lead until half-time, despite the best efforts, first of Trevor Anderson, and then from Robbie Barr, who managed to beat the goalkeeper, but couldn't beat Davy Nixon. Nixon actually helped give Linfield one of their best chances of the match. Mark Kaki doing all the difficult things right, only to totally miscue his shot. Indeed, it took Linfield over an hour to get level. Dean Smith's punch picked up by Tom Sloan, who scored within 10 minutes of coming on as substitute. With 10 minutes left, Crusaders got a penalty. Lee Docherty fouling Davy Nixon. There was a Liverpool scout at the Oval last night to watch Sid Burrows, and Burrows it was who took the penalty which gave Crusaders the lead again. He also had a hand in the build-up to the third goal. Robbie Barr missed the ball. Ronnie McCulloch certainly didn't. The biggest Irish League crowd of the season was at Windsor Park last night for a rearranged game between Linfield and Glentoran. 7,000 was the estimated gate, and a crucial match it was for the visitors, who knew that defeat would leave them 6 points adrift of Linfield. It turned out to be a great game of football, but it wasn't Glentoran's night. They were in trouble from the kick-off when Paul Miller conceded this free kick for a foul on the right back, John Garrett. McKee took it and found Trevor Anderson, whose turn and shot brought him his 23rd goal of the season and gave Linfield the lead in 45 seconds. Paul Miller helped set up the equaliser with tenacious ball play on the wing, Cleary sending it forward, and a touch from Jerry Mullen setting it into the path of Raymond Morrison. 14 minutes had gone and the scores were level. Linfield 1, Glentoran 1. Linfield's winner came 14 minutes later. Anderson's shot was blocked, but it fell to Tom Sloan to put it away. It was Sloan's third goal in as many games, and he must now be a leading candidate for Player of the Month. The most controversial decision of the night came just before half-time. A linesman reported Johnny Jemison to the referee for spitting at a Linfield player, and after a lengthy discussion with Oliver Donnelly, Jemison was sent off for the first time in his career. But even with Glentoran down to 10 men, they dominated the second half. Paul Miller shaving the bar there with one of many efforts which could have brought them level. Terry Moore dominated in the air. He even found time to go forward, and effectively too, setting up that chance for Jim Cleary. But 2-1 had finished, with Jemison sent off and 5 others booked. Gibson of Linfield, Miller, Mullen, Manley and Morrison for Glentoran, a hit list which left the visitors enraged.
Clubs keep saying, and nobody seems to ever say it in public, when you come to Windsor Park you play 11 players, the referee and the 2 linesmen, and I think it was true tonight. I thought there were some terrible decisions. We seem to get booked every time we committed a foul, yet Linfield players seem to commit fouls, you know, every 5 and 6 minutes, and they don't even get spoken to. And I thought we should have had a penalty when it was 2-1 the second half. I thought.
Linfield, meantime, have extended their lead in the Irish League Championship to 7 points, that after their 3-2 win at Glentoran on Saturday.
4 of the 5 goals came in a hectic half hour from the kick-off. Linfield first, with Robbie Barr scoring after 12 minutes of the match. 27 minutes gone and Glentoran levelled it. Jim Cleary's cross directed to Johnny Jemison, and Raymond Morrison doing well to hook it in. Glentoran level then at 1-1. But 2 minutes later, Mark Kaki's long throw was helped on by a defensive head, and Trevor Anderson was there at the far post, his 25th goal of the season, and Linfield back in front. But only for another 2 minutes, when Tommy Lehman's long ball found Johnny Jemison. He had the pace to strip the defence, and the finish this time was good. 2-2 then after half an hour, but in the 72nd minute, with the draw the odds-on bet, that own goal from Moore, under pressure from Anderson, gave Linfield the points.